You know, this is something that I have heard hundreds and hundreds of times over my life. A lot of people say this to bring comfort to people who are dealing with infertility, to be like, there's so much going in the world, you don't need to bring anybody else into it right now anyways, the world is bad, blah, 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 blah. And I understand and I somewhat appreciate the attempts to comfort me and other mothers in general, other women in general. But is the world really any worse off now than it ever has been? Like, truly, if you think about it, I don't think that our world is worse off than it used to be. I just think that it appears that way because of social media, of mass communications. We are more aware of the bad in the world on a constant, consistent basis. There is no breaks. There is no ignorance to what's going on. Ignorance is bliss, but there is no ignorance when it comes to world affairs and what's going on in countries around the planet. Is right now a time to bring a child into the world any worse than it was during the Trail of Tears, during early colonization and disease, thousands of people dying every day? Is it any worse than the years of slavery and people raising families in secrecy and in suffering? Is it any worse now than it was during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, when people literally couldn't feed their families? So it's all perspective. And I've always wanted to adopt. However, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse the way that they have the system set up. They do it to where it's very difficult for people to adopt, which I guess is like a screening process to make sure that kids go to well-off homes. Just because people are low income or live a different kind of way doesn't mean they're going to be bad parents. And we choose the life that we live, and we love the life that we live. So the fact that we're going to be blessed to raise a child the way that we have learned to love to live, to teach them to love people, to be kind, to be gentle, to be patient. And then when they're older, they can go into the world and they can choose to live how they want to live. And I am just holding on to the blessing and the hope, the blessing that I am going to get that opportunity. And maybe what the world needs is a little